Good morning. It is 8:28 in the morning on July 13th, Saturday. So I woke up this morning. I feel a lot better about things. And honestly got up. I'm about to have my cup of tea, sit outside on the balcony, and just chill out, get some devotion, um, and, continue to read about, just my role as a wife, um, the gifts that God has given me, and my responsibility as my counterpart's wife. Of course, in the beginning, I was very serious about praying for him, and I still pray for him. I still, you know what I'm saying? But I think that a lot of times I've been blindsided, or I think for me, it's like, and I'll say, for example, the accident that I had, the car accident, and how, and I don't know, I feel like even then, I don't know. I'm kind of seeing how things are starting to work out. And I mean, it needed to come back, honestly, full circle. And for me to think about, what lessons do I need to learn? And I remember talking to my dad, actually, it was last week, because my pain in my shoulder came back. Um, and I mean, it came back full force. Like, it's more painful than it was in the beginning. And that's not to say that I forgot about my accident or anything, but it was just kind of like, I mean, it is what it is. Um, and I didn't fight for it. I kind of just let it go, and um, with this pain coming back today, or not today, but just coming back recently, and for him saying that, because he said, so what did you learn from the situation? And I was just like, well, I don't know. And I mean, I knew, but I didn't really want to say it because I felt defeated. But he just said, well, I think that you were playing it too safe. Um, and, like he said, because, you either wasn't taken serious, or you were I don't know if I just let other things pile up on top and I just let it go. I mean, honestly, knowing me and my personality, I see the good in people. And, it's like where I'm pretty naive. Um, and I mean, this is not to say don't have hope for people that they will change or anything, but it is that you need to be realistic about the world that you live in. The world we live in, there's pride, there's greed, there's um, lust, there's gluttony. I mean, you're getting the seven deadly sins. And so when it comes to these things, we have to stop. And I'll take this as far as a journey too, but let me finish this thought. When it comes to those different things, we have to stop playing it safe. We have to stop this, oh, well, yeah, I'm just going to do this. And yeah, we love, and we send love, and and this again inspires me. Like, I really need to get back to my, the Beatitudes and actually the cardinal virtues, and those things that we fight against, the seven deadly sins, which again, even Prince, the song. And so what I've learned from this situation, again, with the pain coming back, is that when it comes to these, and this is warfare. Stop playing nice. Because your enemy is not, oh, well, no, the enemy has come to kill, steal, and destroy. I can't even get the words out. The kill, steal, and destroy. And if we want to take it further, this is even for, I mean, as far as people on this journey, God's children in general, okay? So it's not even this quote unquote twin flame path and divine, marriage and all that. While those are important in that, and we have our own mission in itself, okay? But I'm saying this is spiritual warfare in general for all people. It may look different in different circumstances, but for my journey, and per se, and this is kind of where everything started to come to, where 2 weeks ago, actually, when my pain actually, now that I've realized it, was it the day of or the day after that pain in my shoulder came back? I was actually, I had traveled to go visit my best friend, and I stayed with her for the weekend, and we were at this event one day, and it was just, it was pretty long, and it was hot outside and all that kind of stuff. So when we got back, I was just like, I'm tired. And I ended up taking a nap. It was probably like 3 hours or so. Probably not even that. I can't remember. Maybe 2 or 3 hours. And I remember, and this is where I'm like, I don't really want to put a label on it, and I really don't care for the label, but whether or not it was a dream or a visitation or whatever the case was, my divine masculine's karmic, quote unquote karmic, came, or was in, the dream, my mind, psyche, whatever. But what it was that she was having a conversation with, let's say like it was, I want to say it was like a friend. Like, think about like a movie, and it's kind of like I'm a visual person and think of things in movies and whatnot and pictures. So picture like, it's like a drama, and you have two women who are talking to each other. And then there's somebody out on the, like maybe around the corner, or like they didn't know that this person was there, right? And they're talking. So in this scenario, I was the person where like, it's almost like I was plopped down in this scene, or in this area, and I heard over talking to somebody, like a friend, and she was saying like, yeah, I went through this MF's phone and this and that and whoop-de-woo, and he ain't shit, he ain't this. I mean, this is my channel, so you're gonna hear some curse words, whatever. But she was saying all that, and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna kill him, this and that. And like, it wasn't, when people get mad and it's like somebody that you love, and you just like, I'm so angry. Like, it's like coming from a place of pain and hurt. Like, not that it's right, I'm not justifying it, but when you say like, oh, like this and that, I could kill him or whatever, which I've never said that about my masculine, just a side note. I mean, as much as I get frustrated with him, I would never say anything like that towards my man. Regardless of what's going on with us, regardless if we get in a relationship or anything, because I love him. Like, I want him to be happy. I want him to have peace. But I've had other few choice of words for him, but never that far. So anyways, when she said that, it was like it was an alarm. It was a red flag. It was a trick. I wouldn't even say it was necessarily a trigger, but it was just kind of like, that was an alarming, it was really hard to hear that. And it made like my, almost like the hair on my arm stand up. Now, again, keep in mind, in this whole situation, again, this was quote unquote a dream. I don't know what it was, but I'm just going to say it was a dream. Again, it was only a nap though too. So that's why it was just kind of like, that's kind of hard that it was, and the fact that I remember it. Like, dreams go by, you forget them soon, but I can remember it word for word. So anyways, it's almost like she started, so she was still talking to her friend, this and that, and walked around the corner. And it wasn't like, I wasn't really trying to hide or anything. And I don't want to say I was even hiding. It was like, I overheard the conversation, and I was doing something. And then I didn't even know, like, for some reason in this dream, again, I'll just call it a dream. I didn't know that I was visible, if that makes sense. Like, think about like, when you watch shows, and like Martin, for example, and they did the, what's that? It's a famous, like, other shows have done it too, where it's like Christmas, and it's like past, present, or future, and just kind of shows, I don't want to say the ghost of Christmas past, but it's one of those things where it's like somebody who's been a Scrooge, right? Or someone who's had a bad attitude. And like the episode of Martin where Pam was like, there to show him how he was in Christmas when he was a child, and this and that. And then it showed like his attitude towards people, or, whatever the case is, and especially around Christmas, in present time. And again, never mind the event or the situation, just listen to it's the whole principle of seeing yourself in the past, present, and future. And, it's always the moral of the story is, if you don't change what you do right now in the present, this is what your future could look like. that type of thing. So that's how I felt. I didn't know that I was even visible. I didn't know, like, it was just like, is this a timeline like that I'm in? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But next thing you know, she comes up to me and she said, I have this situation with this guy and I'm looking for some advice, and she told me the whole thing and I acted like I didn't really hear what she was saying. But she told me, and she was like, so what do you think? And it was funny because, when you think about like, and this, I kind of thought about the movie Inception, which I'm going to go back and watch now that I'm older and kind of understand a little bit more about the dreams and mindsets and all of that stuff. I say kind of because it's a whole bunch of, timelines, dimensions, a whole bunch of other stuff with that. But the mind is a powerful thing, just a side note. So anyways, so when she asked me that, I kind of had this, I want to say like I paused because I was thinking, so it was like a dream within a thought within a thought, or a thought within a dream, I guess. And I could see myself like really contemplating, like, should I tell her who I am? But then it's almost like I had this smile on my face, and I wasn't really a smirk, but it was just kind of like, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. And I said, you know who I am. Because I'm just like, she knows who I am. The man that you're with, my divine masculine, is my counterpart. You know who I am. And side note, in 3D perspective, in the 3D, whatever, I don't want to say we've met each other, but she does know, like, she's seen me before. And I've seen, like 2 different events that were my divine masculine. So she's seen me before. And with that being said, I'm like, I don't really know if she knows about me, like in that per se. But anyways, that's, I'm about to get to that. So again, in this dream, I was like, you know who I am. And then she was like, yeah. And so for me, it was almost like, okay, so now that we have the facade, the mask off, and we know what's the real deal here. Like, I'm not sugarcoating anything, but I'm also not going to, react out of fear or anything. And so I said, well, think about this way. When you're with him, I said, do you have anybody in your life, a counterpart, someone who is like home to you, someone that you would do anything for, that you truly and genuinely love that person? Now, what I will say is I can't remember. I can't remember if she even answered, but I feel like it was more of like she was listening. And maybe I like the way I phrased it was just like a rhetorical question. And mainly what it was just for her to think about it. Think about it. Is what the situation that you have with this person right now, again, who was my divine masculine, mine, okay? But again, I wasn't even acting like that. It was just more of like a reflective type of thing for her to think, like, this thing that you have with this person, is this a real thing? Or is this something that's a facade? Is it an image? Is it is it something that's just comfortable? It's just there. But just for her to know, like, if this ain't the real deal, why are you still dealing with it? But anyway, so that was that. And then I woke up. But I felt like that was very interesting that happened. Now, that's not the first time that I've had an encounter with my divine masculine's karmic, quote unquote karmic, in a dream state. Actually, like last year, around last year, I had this dream where it was him and her, and it was me too. And it was like something was hanging on the wall, but it signified, it was like symbolizing the death of something. And I don't know what that was, but it was like then when it happened like a year ago, I was like, okay, like, is this like the end of the lesson? Is it the end of like the relationship? Like, I don't understand. But it wasn't like nobody was hurt or anything. It was just more of like a symbol for something. And I didn't quite understand. But like a year ago, I took it as, oh, okay, well, that's over now. Like whatever he needed to learn with the situation, it's over. So what I'll say though is that all these things, again, that was a year ago. And so I was under the impression that that was no longer a thing. But then I kept realizing, like, me and my divine masculine, like, we've grown. We've also known each other for like since we were children. But as far as, knowing that this connection between us is pure and is spiritual and something outside of this world, is divine. It first started when I was 11 and he was 13. Yes, that's young. I'm sure people think like, oh my gosh, that's young. But at the same time, think about children. Think about the younger we are, that's actually when we are a little bit more in tune with our spiritual side. And maybe we don't quite have the words for it, but we know it's there. So anyways, but we're older now. But we're still, young adults. I'm 25, he's 27. And it's like we've grown stronger, and we've even gotten to the place where we've told each other that we love each other, and not in the sense of like, got sidetracked. Not in the sense of, it hasn't really, I don't know, it's been just a pure, like, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to let you know that I love you. And I started saying a little bit more freely a little bit before him, because I realized, like, and at the beginning I was afraid to say it, because I'm just like, if I say he don't say anything back, like, I'm gonna look like a fool. But then I realized, like, no, like, if you truly love somebody, telling them that you love them, you lose nothing. You absolutely, actually, it makes you stronger. The fact that you have the courage and the strength to tell somebody you love them, even when you don't, even when they're probably not gonna say nothing back, and or you do it because you don't expect anything from that person. You don't expect that person to say it back. You say it because you just want to let them know. So I started doing that a little bit earlier than him, and then next thing you know, he was saying it back to me. And then there was times when he would say it first, and so, I mean, we still at a place where we've never kissed, we've never, expressed outwardly to each other like, I'm so in love, we've not yet. But with all that being said, it was like, I noticed he would start to act a little funny, or it was something would go on where it would be weird. And then next thing you know, I'll find out that she's still in the picture. And so I say all this to say, going back to the car accident and the pain that I was feeling, and again, the whole thing where I'm like, oh, I see the good in people and this and that. And this is not to, as it, like, I don't dislike the girl. I don't know what is going on. All I do know is there's something funny. A lot of times I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I also know that I feel like in this scenario where God's trying to teach me, like, you have to realize this is spiritual warfare. So whether or not, and this is like, in the beginning, I don't want to say I would joke about it, but it was just kind of like, it would be a thought, but then I would just shoot it down. So I'm just like, nah, like, I mean, she don't look like she would do something like that. I would be like, I mean, does she kind of have like some kind of spell over him or something, Because I don't understand why. Like, y'all don't, it's just, I just know in my gut something ain't right. But with all this coming up, I was like, well, dang, like, I don't really know what's going on. I don't know. But I do know that this is a spiritual warfare. So whether or not it's this person or not, or if she's doing something, or if she has other people doing something, or if it's her mom, like, who knows? I don't know what the case is. All I do know is I love my masculine. And I feel like it's not even so much about like us being together, which again, I mean, I manifest that and I love that, but that's not an expectation right now. And this is not what this is about. What it is about though, is that I can tell there's something that's not right between, it's something that's not right with this connection between him and his quote unquote karmic. Things look forced. And it's like a feeling of being stuck. Like it's a cycle and no one's moving forward. And it's like it's a stalemate. And neither one of them look happy. Neither one of y'all look happy. And so that's why I'm just like, why are y'all still together if neither one of y'all look happy? And that's what I want is for my divine masculine to find peace and happiness, period. I want what's best for my masculine, whether or not that's me, which I know it is, but besides all that, and I say that as far as, earthly relationships, what's the ultimate best for him though, is for him to see God's kingdom and to have peace. I just, I see this as something that I need to protect. This union, and again, it reminds you, as much as I sit here and I think about myself being like this, seeing, good in people, giving people the benefit of the doubt. But then the next thing people are profit. Oh, that's what my dad said with this accident, that, you were playing it safe and, and I know for me, it's like I had this idea that, justice will occur and it'll be, everything will align in its order and, it's going to be done. I will get my just due. But I just sat there and I didn't do anything. So when it comes to justice, you got to get up and you got to do something about it. While having, again, that's that faith without works is dead. Trust that God is working things out in your favor. And God will fight with you, fight for you. And God is fighting battles that you don't even know. And He has angels placed around you that you don't even know what's going on between y'all. Or what entities, what things are trying to come towards you. But you can't just sit there and lay down and take the punches and be like, oh yeah, I'm good. No, it takes faith with work. Get up and go fight. So that was the whole car accident thing. And then the pain, he said, people are profiting off your pain right now. He said they got their check, but and it's like, I started thinking, like, regretting, like, well, dang, like, I mean, maybe this pain wouldn't be so bad if I at least had something, like I got some kind of cut out of it. But no, this pain came back. I didn't get anything out of it. I was slighted. And I don't believe in coincidences. I feel like this is something that God needed to show me too, where I've been playing it safe. And this is not to say don't have hope in people and have faith that people will do good, but we also know that there's a spiritual warfare. I can't control other people. I can't, as much as I can love other people and this and that, people still have a choice. So if somebody's going to choose to continue it's a choice between light and dark. If you're going to choose to continue to be evil, if you are going to continue to, people, for example, even in sports, when it comes to games, whether it's basketball, football, whatever, you can't be like, oh yeah, I have faith we're going to win, and then sit on the sidelines or not tackle. You got to stop being passive. That's really what it is. And even then, I was watching a basketball game the other day, and the one team was just being real passive. And I was sitting here like, they're not even playing aggressively. And again, the irony where it's the same thing as far as my union. And so as much as my physical self and my personality, I want to see the good in people, and I don't want to accuse anybody of anything. I still need to be aware and I need to be alert. And so this is not to say, like, we know that, again, it's spiritual warfare. And so we got people who are out here, again, these quote unquote karmics, and I use that in a sense of those of the dark. Not necessarily, because if you think about it, even with you and your counterpart, it is a quote unquote karmic partnership, which is more of like karma is good and bad, or it's karma's, think about like a consequence or whatever. So I'm not saying in that sense, but I'm saying as far as karmics, as far as the dark people who are here to interfere with these unions between light beings, divine counterparts, all that stuff. And even just, again, this is the scripture where it talks about we struggle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities. And that's real. So I've been playing it safe in this 3D perspective and trying to be, like everyone's at peace and, we all want justice and this and that. But I need to be more active with it, need to be more aggressive with it. I care so much and I love my masculine so much, and I want to protect our union in general, our friendship. And I feel like God place certain things and show me certain things for me to understand that this is warfare. Stop playing it safe. Stop sitting here on the ground and just twiddling your thumbs, because next thing you know, you're going to be blindsided. You're going to be slighted by the enemy. And next thing you know, you sitting here questioning, how did it get this far? I didn't even see this coming. The enemy is sneaky. That's the thing. It looks all shiny and it looks all, peaceful. It's that, again, that false light, even with this whole people in the quote unquote twin flame who don't even talk about stuff like this, or who don't even acknowledge God. Those are, again, use wisdom and discernment. So yeah, I really just want to hop on and say, I wanted to share my experience and how this ties in also with us, where if you're feeling defeated, if you feel like powerless, and I would say that too, where there's a lot of times I felt powerless, and I would see stuff with, and it kind of triggered earlier this week where I saw my masculine post something with his karmic, like at a concert, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit reactive. But that was kind of like the straw on the camel's back. And it really pissed me off because it was almost like, okay, this has never happened before. Like, what is going on? I don't understand what's going on. And then the whole time when it happened, again, she was not even present. She was just there. And I admit, there was a frustration. There was some jealousy that I felt. But then I was just like, wait a second. Like, social media in general, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, social media is the devil. I'm not doing all that, because these are tools. Now, what people do with them, the choices that people use, how people use them, that's where the intention comes in. And that's where you're like, again, people either use it for good or for bad. But yeah, I was just like, okay, this is social media. Like, you can't take everything seriously on that. And you also know, like, I don't know how many years God has shown me, even before knowing about quote unquote twin flames or the twin flame path, the amount of dreams and revelations God showed me in regards to me and my masculine and our connection. So I feel like even for me, where God was trying to teach me that I need to stop, like, I'll have these moments of having faith and just being good and like being content, like, hey, I know what's for me, this and that. But to stop being so reactive, and stop jumping to conclusions when I see something, again, on the physical plane, that doesn't match up with what I know. And then there are times I'll just be like, you know what, well, F it, I'm done. Like, I'm sick of him, this and that, whoop-de-woo. But it's like, that's all out of anger. That's all out of fear. It's that fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. And so again, I say all this is not to, like, while I say all this, I don't have any type of ill feelings towards his quote unquote karmic. I don't care for all that. But what I do know is that I need to be aware. And honestly, what I want is for all of us, to have our connection with God, but for us to be walking in God's path, and doing what God has called us to do. And so if it's her, if it's somebody else in her family or friend who got who trying to do something, sending some kind of dark magic or whatever towards me and my beloved, I don't know, but I want to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to continue to fight for it, but also pray that those who have been dabbling with the dark practices, that y'all turn to God and repent. Honestly, like, it's not a game. It's really not. What this is about, y'all people are so, and this is in general, not even just this journey. People are so consumed with themselves. Again, this is the last days. It's already been prophesied. And there will be judgment. This is not about fear mongering. What it is the real deal. There will be judgment. All seven will fall. Think about the Prince song, 7. All 7, and we'll watch them fall. They stand in the way of love, and we will smoke them all. Like, come on now. We got this idea that, yes, while God is compassionate and merciful and grace and shows us mercy, all those things, and loves us unconditionally, there is still judgment. So if you want to continue, you have a choice. You either choose to be on the side of good, of God, of love, or you're on the side of evilness. So we see all this playing out not only in this mission, but also in the music industry, in Hollywood, like in politics. I mean, the amount of greed, the amount of lust, it's so much. And it's not just USA, this is the world. God is going to reset, okay? The again, avenge, all right? God said, vengeance is mine. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Okay, there's only so much I can do. And think about even Avengers and whatnot. But the judgment that's about to come on this earth, I don't know about you all, but I this is not a game. I don't want to play. I want to be in the number where I'm with God's army. I want to be on God's army. And I will die if I need to. With honor. With honor. And that's real. Sacrifice. Because I would rather die. I would rather die with honor than to give in to the ways of this world. But yes. So anyways, I'll talk a little bit more about that. And I mean, like I said, I will be preserving my voice a little bit more. Side note, guys, go ahead and check out my music channel. The link is in, if you look up the most recent video that I had with the Divine Union or Divine Love music playlist. I have the link to my channel there. Please put any love songs, any uplifting songs, things that we can raise our vibrations to encourage not only our collective, but also other people out there. Because I think a lot of times also on this spiritual community, we get so focused on our mission, what we got going on, and we forget that there are other people out there who are hurting, who don't know God, who don't know love, and who are trying to get through it day to day. But they are on the verge, and even think about mental health and the suicide rate, depression, all these different things. And that's really why I started my channel too, and have been singing, because I really want to just share my voice and share my love for music, and uplift and encourage. And there may be times where I feel like I don't know what to say, but I do know that there's a song that you can turn on to help you. And so again, I'll have, gospel songs on there, but I'll also have other songs that are inspirational. And I'll also have love songs, on my channel, just to sing, because I just want to continue to raise the vibrations, and do what I love. And so I want to inspire and encourage other people to do what they love. If you have artistic abilities, or if you know how to build something, if you know crafting, if you have knowledge in science, or whatever the case is, I don't care. Things that you love to do, that you want to teach someone and help someone. I want to challenge you all to be good stewards of the gifts that God has given you, because those gifts were not given to you just for you to hold on to it, just for you to hoard, but they were meant for you to share and to encourage. And again, that I hope that as people hear me sing, and they see me, and they see the strength that I have, and whatever the case is, a smile on my face, for them to know that this is because of God. This is because my union, my connection, my union with God. And that's even on this whole quote unquote twin flame path. The most important thing, whether or not you get physically with your counterpart, it's not about romance. It really is. And that's another thing. It's not about romance. Now, that's the icing on the cake. I want my man. I want my children. I want to have our family. I would absolutely love that. But that does not come first. What comes first and foremost is my connection to God, period. So I continue to do my mission. I continue to do what God says to do, and be obedient, and just try. That's really what it is. God is calling. God is calling you. He's calling out to you. God is encouraging and pursuing you. And we get so focused on somebody else. We're seeking love and validation from people out there who are finicky. Us included. As humans, we are fickle, okay? The emotions, the things that we're human, okay? But what I would say is our Creator, the Most High, is consistent, is constant. God is always there. God is always present. You just have to open your heart and receive it. You have to open your eyes. You have to open your ears. You have to humble yourself. Humble yourself before our Father, and our Mother, So that's really what it's turned out longer than what I wanted it to be. But those of you who are still listening, I really appreciate it. I realized that I have like, you know, more followers now. But yet I don't have many people who are listening, who are watching, who are viewing. And it makes me sad, and not necessarily in the sense where it's like it's about me, but just the fact that you have people, and I've talked about it too. I'm sorry, guys, I kind of go everywhere, but with Queen of Swords, the Lightworker, her channel, like she's the real deal. And even just seeing the amount of followers she has, like 7.1, K, and yet has like 100 views, like, but then you have people who are sitting here and who do card readings all the time, and oh, your divine masculine is coming back. Oh, your divine this, your divine that. Oh, the divine masculine ain't shit. Oh, whatever the case is, the karmic is like, it's just bullshit tags, bullshit titles. And it's just, how in the world do these people who don't care about you all, who are only just trying to profit off of you and your pain, who are keeping you in a cycle of victimhood at that, and who, are catering to people who are just obsessed, who are, low vibrational, and who are actually being led astray. There's these wolves in sheep clothing, these false prophets. They have 1 million views. They have so many people in their comments. There's so many people who are giving them their money. Wake up. Wake up. Use discernment. Go to people who can actually help you, who actually acknowledge the Creator. That's one telltale sign. If somebody don't acknowledge that there is God, that there is a God, that there is an entity, a source, the Most High, our Creator, the great I Am, if they don't acknowledge, please tell me how they can teach somebody about unconditional love. How? You're listening to people out there who don't care nothing about you. And this is my rant. I'm going to keep going. You're subscribing to people who care nothing about you, your soul, your life. Again, and in this life, this is temporary, honey. But again, this is spiritual warfare. So like I said in the beginning, stop sitting down and playing it safe. This is spiritual warfare. It's time to get up and fight. You got this whole thing in this quote unquote, not only just twin flame, but the spiritual community. Oh, light and love, and oh, no judgment, and you don't do this and you can't do that. And yet in the same breath, they're actually judging people. That makes no sense. There is such a thing called a righteous judgment. Now, with that being said, we have to ultimately understand that God, the Creator of all things, the Most High, is the one who will be doing the judging. If you are worried about other people judging you, I'm going to tell you something right now. There is nothing compared to God's judgment that's going to come. God's judgment will be coming. And if you are so concerned about other people judging you, but yet you're not doing what God told you to do, you're not being obedient to what God instructed for you to do, God's checking your heart. God is like, hey, I don't care what other people are doing out there. You are my child. Are you doing what I told you to do? And God had to do the very same thing I'm saying to y'all. He had to say to me, where I had to realize I'm so focused on other people and what they think and what they're gonna say, or well, what am my divine masculine? Stop worrying about that. You have no control over other people. But what you do have control over, and what you are here to do, is to listen first and foremost to our Creator, to be obedient. There's no way you can sit here and say I love my Creator and yet you're not obedient. That makes no sense. Now, does that mean you're a bad person? I ain't say all that. We all make mistakes, but what I'm saying is wake up. I've been guilty myself, and there were times where I would drown. I would get so bombarded with what other people expected of me. But then again, that's you making an idol out of people. You people pleasing, right? You're making idols. That's really what it is. You are putting other people and their opinions and their judgments and what they say above what God told you to do. And that's something that me and my divine masculine himself are fighting against. And where I'm so very grateful, very thankful. And this is where you really understand, guys, that this connection is union. This is not about you and your count. It's so much bigger than you. I really need y'all to listen. It's so much bigger than you. What I wish for other people out there, whether you are in this quote unquote twin flame connect collective or not, I don't care. God's children, God calling all God's children. For y'all to understand that God loves you. God has seen you at your worst. I don't know what you all have been through. I don't know the decisions that you've made. I don't know how far you feel like you strayed. I don't care. How long? I don't care. I want you to know, and I need you to know, that opening your heart to God will change your life. It will change your life. The peace that you will have, the peace that you will find, the justice that you will get. Eternal life, love, being able to know what love is, to know that you are loved. That's what I want people to know, to understand. This world is crazy, and I know there's so much out there that's telling you that you aren't shit, that's telling you that you don't have a purpose, that's telling you that you can't do this, that's telling you that you are unlovable. I know that you are dealing with fear of that you've been dealing with rejection, with you and dealing with abandonment, whether it was from things from the childhood, whether it's from your parents or friends over the years. But I want you to know that there is somebody out there who will never abandon you, who will always love you, who will never forsake you. And that is our creator of all things. So again, I know it's not only about taking heed to the message. Yes, this is a warning, but not because I want to scare anyone. I want you all to be aware, and I want you to know this is spiritual warfare. There are things that are happening in sight. I mean, things that we don't even see. Again, spiritual principalities that we don't even see. We're like pawns. We're being used as pawns by the enemy in this game. We're being tricked. But choose the side of love. Choose the side of God, of our Creator. Continue to uplift and encourage your brother, your sister. Help them. Love them. Share what's in your heart and do it freely. Do it from a sense of you wanting to help. That doesn't mean that you allow for people to walk all over you. Don't be a doormat. Just like I said earlier, where I've my whole life, granted, yes, I'm still young, but letting people walk all over me, giving people the benefit of the doubt and being slighted. You still have hope for people. You still love people, but have discernment and wisdom. Be aware of the attacks. Continue to continue. God has already given us the tools. That's another thing. God has already given us the tools, but we have to use them and do so with faith. So if you felt like you were giving up, not only on this journey, but in life, if you feel like, I have all this money piling up, I have all these bills piling up, I have all these stress, all these mountains, all these Goliaths in my life, and I don't know how to fight them, or you feel powerless, I want you to know that opening your heart, submitting, surrendering to God, to our Creator, to God's will. When you allow for your hearts to open and to receive it, baby, there's so much that God can do and fight for you in ways that we could never. God is working things out in your favor that you don't even know what's going on right now. You don't even know. I know that the situation looks bad. I know you're thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. I don't know what to do. But that's right there. It's in that moment when you've realized that you've done everything that you knew how to do, that you could do. Turn to the Father. Turn to the Most High. Turn to our Heavenly Father and give your burdens over to Him. Give it over to Him. Say, God, Lord, I trust you. Invite Him into your heart. Your heart has been hardened for a long time, but it's been because of other people, situations, circumstances, people who were supposed to love you in your life who didn't, who left you, who abandoned you, who rejected you, who spoke ill on your name. I apologize on behalf, but also know that all of us, people in general, we've done that to other people too. And maybe that person was not in a place of love. That person was not at their best place. And that person may have not been reflecting God at that moment. But just know that those situations, people who acted in those ways, that wasn't God. People, even in religion, people who call themselves Christians, even you see it today now, who claim to be Christians, and yet who are making it as an excuse to be hateful to other groups of people. That's not okay. And it's not just Christians, it's Muslims, it's, people in Hindu, I don't care, religion in general. There are people in the spiritual community. So let's, even without the labels, who cares about the labels, religious or they're spiritual, whatever the case is. Black, white, male, female, gay, straight, it doesn't matter. There are people who are choosing to do good and people who are choosing to do bad in all sectors. What side will you be on? And with that being said, I really hope this has been helpful. I noticed this is long, but this is honestly of something that just came on my spirit, and I'm going to post it. At first I wasn't going to, but I need to post it because I feel the presence, the Holy Spirit. I feel God's presence. I know that this needed to get out. So it wasn't just for me. It helped me, and it made me realize what's really going on in the fight, to get up and fight, to fight for my union, to fight for my beloved, to fight for me, but ultimately to fight for God. That's it. To fight for God's truth, to fight for humanity. Humanitarian. I'm an Aquarius myself, so humanitarian. This is what we're here to do, man. I love you all so much, and I really hope that you would find this helpful. Again, I'll be posting more things, and I think that I've been letting stuff slide as well on my channel. Not as far as just me getting it out, but I really hope this has encouraged you all, because I know that this journey is hard. I know that life in general, but this is spiritual warfare. And we're in this together. We are family. We're brothers and sisters. We are here to love each other, to encourage and uplift each other. There are many rooms in God's kingdom for all to work together. God is placing us, again, just like you have people out here who are choosing to do evil. You got folks like the Illuminati and other stuff in Hollywood and politics, whatever the case is, those who are on the side in the 7 deadly sins, the cabal, those who are under those programs still. But then you got God's army. This is not for us to be fearful. We don't need to fear. We don't need to fear them, because we know that we're on the side of love. Love covers a multitude of sins. And I know that as far as us, those of us who are in this quote-unquote twin flame, divine union, partnership, divine beings, illumined ones, elect ones, that we are here in our mission with our counterpart, which is a unique one as well. That these are things that we have been needing to learn and practice with our counterpart. It's where it's like, another thing where it's like I believe it's Song of Solomon. Yeah, I am my beloved, and he is mine. You guys are one. You and your counterpart, your beloved, you are one. It's been a divide and conquer tactic, art of war, right? It's been that kind of tactic with all of us, especially between divine counterparts. Your divine masculine or your divine feminine is not your enemy. Your brother and sister is not your enemy. Your parents are not your enemy. The enemy is the enemy. These entities who claim to be of light, of love, of God, but who are liars, who are demons. And we're coming together and we're standing up for our unions, for our brothers and sisters, for our children. We're standing up. We're linking our arms together and we're saying no more. You will no longer have influence over me, over my family, over my tribe. For the ones that I come in contact with, you will no longer. Like another scripture says, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That's how it is on my channel. As for me and this channel, and those of you on this channel who are listening, who also agree, who are in agreement that we all stand up together, I thank you for being with me, for sharing with me as well. Because honestly, this has helped me. This channel, the people who have commented, the people who have who also shared encouraging messages have truly, honestly and truly helped me too. I know I've grown over the years. I know I may have said some things maybe a year or two ago that I'm like, oh, I don't know why I said that. But I also know that was a place that I was in at that moment. But I'm grateful that I'm able to share these things in a space with other people who also understand. But also to know that it helps. And it just confirms that, you know what, God, this is what I'm here to do. So yeah, this turned out longer. But I really hope that you all find this message. And just continue to stay prayed up. Continue to fight. Stay alert because the enemy is prowling. Okay? I will have more. Namaste.